Nostradamus, Mystic Meg, football pundits, those women in the bath from Minority Report. Many have tried to predict events that will come to pass. Tonight, on this show, two men will attempt to unravel the mysteries of the future, delving into the realms of quantum possibilities to divine what shall be the ultimate truth. Tonight, on Oh the Humanities, CJ and Paddy cast their predictions for E3 2015.
He's talking into his shoe.
Whilst Paddy regains oxygen after smelling his own feet through the medium of his own shoe, probably thinking it was some kind of telephone. Welcome to a smoky late night. Is it Wednesday? I work shifts.
It is Wednesday, and for the record, it was Laura's shoe, so don't know if that makes more or less context. I don't know.
I don't know. So we're going to be talking about E3. We are both very, very excited for it. I've just done a massive shift, so I am probably a touch more mellow than I normally am. Huh?
You did a massive what?
Shift.
Okay. Gonna say, a little bit too much information for the start of a show.
Oh, Patrick, sometimes we snap and we fire, and sometimes I feel like just setting myself on fire.
Poop's funny.
Whichever. All right. Right. So E3 is one of the weeks in the year I genuinely get most excited about. I take a week off work for E3. This is gaming Christmas to me. It's certainly a time not without its quirks or its faults, but as a fan of gaming, I am beyond giddy at this point. Patrick, what does E3 mean to you?
E3 to me is that time that I get to come home from work, plug the laptop into the TV and just gorge myself on press conferences and lie there in my front room just dribbling with snacks to one side, taking in all of the exciting new shiny things.
Now you see, last year was the first time that we kind of forced you to watch some of the press conferences that you'd normally wouldn't be asked with.
Well, I usually watch the big... Actually, to be fair, I usually watch all of them.
Okay.
There's only a couple that I don't bother with usually, because they're on at weird times. I think I've watched all of them for the last 2 or 3 years, really. I think watching the Nintendo ones was the new one because I never thought to. But I'd always try and at least watch the Sony and Microsoft shows, and maybe sometimes the EA and Ubi as well. But of course, this year there's 9, isn't there, or something?
There's a lot of individual shows this year. Yeah, I think Nintendo are still doing their digital event,
which is frustrating because they do different ones for different regions, so it's quite hard to see what people are talking about on Twitter.
Yeah, I think the thing with Nintendo now is that afterwards there were people going, "Oh man, such and such a game, go to the YouTube video." And there was a much longer segment on YouTube, but Nintendo last year were all about the Treehouse stuff, which is just phenomenal. I mean, as much as I watched the main conferences and stuff, I gorged on Treehouse last year, and it was just nice to see that they were spending we'll go into this in a bit, but they were wheeling people out from, say, Platinum Games and just sitting in front of Bayonetta 1 and 2 for an hour. And then they'd bring them back and they'd show off something else in Bayonetta 1 and 2. And it was, as a fan, it was nice to see the nuance beyond the bluster. Because, you've got your bullet points. It's like, this game is coming. Here is the trailer. Here is a man standing on stage with a pad. Have you ever tried to stand up and play a game? It's not easy. I wonder what will happen at that PC show. Some fucker is trying to juggle a keyboard and a mouse like one of those 80s keytars.
He's going to be sort of balancing it on his leg in sort of yoga pose. Is the only way it's ever going to work.
So yeah, it's like I don't know. It was nice to see even the early states of the games that they showed being explored and getting more of a feel for stuff. But yeah, we'll go into the memories of last year that we've got and the expectations of this year, I guess.
Of which there are many.
Yeah, this is something that's been touched on by a few folks this week. You mentioned this, and my friend Ellie mentioned this as well, regarding leaks.
Oh God, there's been so many, and I understand that people want to get their announcements out before E3, but like at this point, I saw a tweet about this that made me laugh, and it's like this is December the 20th, and your parents have told you what you're getting for Christmas.
I don't
know. Like, it annoys me a little bit. Like, can we not just shut up for just like a week? We're nearly there. Could we not just do it all at once and have a good fun time of it?
Well, the media's got access to these things early because they're a lot of them are going to be writing their stories beforehand. So when said announcement kicks in, it's like bang, there's a full tale without having to kind of break their fingers off trying to write it at speed. But that's why
drafts exist. Just press the button when it arrives. Like, honestly, just get it ready and then go bang when it turns up. Fine, I'm okay with that.
I'd say that. That's what they're doing, but some folks are kind of leaking stuff out, and I think there was a bit on Kotaku the other day when somebody asked Jason Schreier, what happens if you get leaked a piece of information but you've already signed an NDA. And they said that they're mindful of their partners in gaming and not spoiling the reveals and stuff. But if something comes to them independently, and they feel that it's something that they want to put to the public and won't spoil those things particularly, then they're going to go ahead and do it. Because within your Christmas analogy, I would say that some of the leaks that have come out, and obviously some people just want to tantalise and with so much noise being there at E3 anyway, get people looking for a specific, to find out a little bit more. But I would say the analogy is more your parents. You catch your parents wrapping a box, and you don't quite know what's in the box, but they've put it on top of your wardrobe because there's no such thing as Santa, but you can see it. It's there. You can't get it down for another 5 days.
I put a slight twist on that it is, it's your parents wrapping something up, but they've let you see what it is, but then they've wrapped it up anyway. Laura did that to me once. I actually bought the item. It was Guitar Hero 2. But it was for my own birthday, so I went to the shop, I bought it, I got home. She then wrapped it up in front of me and left it on display in her room for 2 months.
Shocking. I remember getting the Action Man Scorpion tank, right?
Ooh.
But I knew that I got it, and I had no idea quite how I did this, but the box was on top of my wardrobe, and I got on some sort of ladder thing or piled up some fucking annuals or something and got up there and was piddling the corner off as if I could somehow then spy through this tiny hole and see the whole flourish of the side of the box, else the thing's being wrapped up in like cheap tissue-ish paper type stuff, and just trying to smooth it down. Smooth it so you can see the right, because this is something I really fucking hate about modern day Christmas paper, right? It's so plasticky and you can't tear it. You have to like pull the sellotape bits off, or as my mum used to do in later years, she'd be like,
"Well, save that for next year."
But when you put the tape off, it pulls the finish off of the paper, so you can see that you've been poking at it.
Well, you just use it for a smaller present the next year. But there's something sort of fun. There's something fun about having shit tissue paper like Christmas paper, and you just go like,
just grab each side and go boof, open in one. That's what I used to do.
This is getting a bit It's getting a bit too Christmassy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, we're going to do memories of 2014 versus expectations of 2015. And there's a few crossovers here because we've got so many conferences now. And I think certain games are going to not only appear at individual publishers, but I think they might bounce around a few different sort of shows. So
probably some that we've seen last year as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. With some of the folks like EA and UB were EA for the most part. It was all like trailers or hastily put together videos of people that looked like they were being interrogated in a concentration camp. But we'll go into this. So yeah, the first one last year was Microsoft, and they came out and talked games. Only games. And
which was surprising at the time, wasn't it?
Well, they fucking ballparked it, I think.
No, they did a good job. I was very surprised by that show. They did a great job. Because we were all expecting them to wank on about telly, weren't we?
Well, we knew that the people that did wank on about telly were kind of wanking off in the job centre now. Yeah, it was just interesting to see the first step of the company focus, and it was quite radical. And I think a lot of people that watched that who weren't fans of the company, or fucking hell, there was no way I was going to buy an Xbox One at the point where that show started. But it was hit after hit after hit, like one after the other. Like I think they came on stage and they said, like, we're just going to show you games.
Yeah, and that's what they did. Bang, 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 game. It's great.
I mean, after all the fart-arsing around with telly, no game sharing and that appalling apathetic non-message of previous years, here comes Big Phil, a games guy, the guy that was the head of the games division, now in charge. He just came out and gave everybody what they wanted. I mean, we were saying sort of that in previous years, like when the Xbox 360 was announced, there was an energy about that had suddenly become this kind of smarm and snark and apathy for the user base, like, well, people will accept anything, and it was just nice to see as a games fan that it was just like game after game after game. Oh, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out, and I think from here we actually got a console war. We got a bit of competition.
Game was on, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember us having that chat afterwards, and we were like, what's Sony going to do? And not in a way of kind of playground and like, no, what's Sony going to do? It was more of a degree of kind of, right, if Microsoft are sort of, rolling up their sleeves and saying, we're going to make a fight of this, we're coming for you, which they've continued to do after the show as well, with the revisions for the console UI and being more approachable, taking requests from people as to what they want to see on the console, and Phil genuinely seems to be into his games and very approachable as well. I think that was great. It was just really, really exciting to see what happened thereafter.
They didn't dwell too much on anything as well, did they? Did they just got on with it?
Yeah. And I mean, the first jaw drop last year was the Halo remasters, the sort of super slick Halo 2, but the gobsmacking sort of part that they were all on one disc. When I was looking at that, I was like, about 20-25 quid each. I'll be quite happy at that. But they were all on one disc, including a good chunk of the maps from all of those titles. And in the aftermath, the online side of things was far too big an undertaking for them to take. But I don't know. You can't underestimate the ambition of them putting them all together like that and actually doing a package which seemed affordable for the fans. And as an old school Halo junkie as I was, looking at that, it was like, I really want that. Where at the point before the conference, I kind of thought I might not play a Halo game again, which is it's a bit sad when you get into a series like that and you're just thinking. So yeah, Tomb Raider 2 was announced as being seemingly as being a console exclusive there, but there was a little dance around that it will be a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I think that's a good thing for the console. I think it's probably a good thing for the PS4 as well, because Tomb Raider is going to be coming out on Xbox One, but then you're going to get Uncharted coming out on PS4. You've got the Uncharted collection's going to be going up against Tomb Raider 2.
True.
And then Uncharted, is it 4?
Yep.
Yeah. He's going to sort of have a free run, and then I don't know. I just at that point there'll probably be Tomb Raider 2 coming out a few months after that, and I don't know. It just seemed. I mean, Tomb Raider 2 and that Uncharted collection going up against each other towards the end of the year. That's pretty good. That's win-win whatever console you're on.
It's games, yo.
So yeah, this then we had
What's next?
Scalebound. I mean, I decried the notion of Platinum working with Microsoft but I was wrong. We only saw an Attract trailer last year, and I presume we'll get more of it this year. But what is it?
Still don't know. Like I've got this on my list of previous entrants, things we've seen before that have not currently made their way back yet. Because that's all we saw of it. It was a trailer and it was gone. So maybe we'll see some more this year.
Yeah, I was wondering if it might be sort of, I don't know, a little bit Monster Hunter with kind of Platinum fighting mechanics, maybe.
Who knows at this point? Could be anything.
No, but
could be an
I am
RTS.
looking forward to. I am looking forward to seeing it. And I think that whilst the games don't sell mahusively, I think there's a lot of Platinum fans, if they see something that they liked, may well invest in the console for that.
Maybe. Yeah.
So
all right. What's next?
This year, I mean, we know Quantum Break's not going to be ready until next year. That's been delayed. But I'd imagine we'd probably see a deeper preview than we saw last year to sort of whet the appetite and keep it in mind. We saw a gulp of Crackdown towards the end of last year, which made me go, oh, because I loved Crackdown to pieces. So I'm very excited for that. I'd imagine that's going to be quite far along. I'm hoping so anyway, and probably playable on the show floor.
Beta access now. Boom.
Yeah, there could well be a beta on that. I know that Microsoft has said after the Halo Master Chief Collection snafus on the online side of things that stuff is going to get a beta now before it comes out. So hell's teeth, yes. Let me see. We will be seeing Halo 5 Guardians, given that it's out in, is it October time? I think
Soon.
October, November time. Yeah. I'd imagine we'll get a sneak at Halo Reach HD, seeing as that's the only one now that hasn't been upscaled. Likewise, Gears of War HD and the new one will probably have a bit of an appearance too. I mean, on my side of things, Halo 5 Guardians today, with a little sort of snippet of information, leapt into one of my most anticipated games. With one sort of drop of information, which just gobsmacked me, which I didn't expect whatsoever. They basically announced that, like in previous Halo games, when you played co-op, you both played as Master Chief. So all the cutscenes were one Master Chief, but when you played either split screen or over the consoles, you were both playing as essentially Master Chief. And they've said this time that when you're going into battle, you're going to be supported by 3 other Spartans.
Okay.
And when your friends co-op with you, they will take the role of one of those other Spartans. But the other Spartans are Fred, Kelly, and Linda from Blue Team. And they're all Spartan 2s, and in the novels, the Eric Nyland novels, which I love, they're 3 of the Spartans which were picked out as children from 6 years old and sort of raised to be these super soldiers alongside like John, like the Master Chief. So it's like you've got 3 of the characters from the books in the game as well, made up at that. And then I found out that Agent Locke, the guy, the Spartan that's hunting down the Master Chief, is going to have his own team that's going to be joining him. And one of those is going to be Edward Buck, who was Nathan Fillion's character from ODST.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know how much I love ODST.
Yes.
ODST is like a big favourite of mine. So all of a sudden it's gone from this game that was a Halo game that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, but didn't have any. I don't know. It was there. I knew I'd enjoy it. I knew I was kind of looking forward to seeing it, but it wasn't. I wasn't clenching my fists for it. But now I'm clenching my fists for it. I just kind of like that. There's a character from a previous game that I love, but there's characters from the novels that are going to be in there as well.
Nice.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. As someone who doesn't really play Halo, this is all just it's just words in the wind to me. But I understand your enthusiasm.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Like, no, I get what you're saying completely.
When you lose yourself in a universe, and especially when it's consumed you to the point where you are, reading graphic novels or comics or however that universe expands. It's nice when that contracts, and it very rarely does.
Yeah, to go the other way. Not like the way the Star Wars have done it, where they've just cut off the entire extended universe to start again. Yeah.
So I'd imagine we'd get a final release date for Elite Dangerous, because that's been confirmed as definitely this year on Xbox One. But an autumn release would be fabulous. And I'm wondering if that's another one of those that might benefit coming out at the same time as No Man's Sky. so kind of people on one console can play one game, people on another console can play the other game, but this I don't know, hype on one side of the fence also translates to hype on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
But Phil Spencer had said that this year would focus on new first-party IPs. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious as to, we're ticking the boxes of the things that we know are there from the things that we know, but I'm wondering kind of if there's new stuff or if it's going to be more remasters, or there's also that Phantom Dust that they announced last year and the developer was removed from it.
Yeah, I thought that was dead.
I don't think it's dead, but it'll be interesting to see where it's been positioned.
Yeah.
I guess. I think they'll show off a new Call of Duty, because it's always Black Ops 3. I'd imagine will be shown at the Xbox reveal.
Oh, of course it will.
It's always really tied in with the Xbox brand, isn't it? So,
and it will also show up at EA.
Yeah, it will, but it's always first at
Microsoft.
It's always first at the Microsoft show. Yes. HoloLens, I wouldn't imagine would show up here. Surprises, I'm not sure. I am excited though, really excited. So yeah, if Sony won the battle between it and Microsoft in 2013, and sweet Lord McFuckety did it, then 2014 was the year that Microsoft came out fighting.
So in 2015 is going to be the year that, I don't know, what does the metaphor go here? They just punch each other in the middle of a ring for a bit? I don't know.
It's
been a long day. Next.
But again, I think it's pretty good for competition that there's they're both kind of bringing the Ray game.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, Nintendo went with a digital event last year, which
I caught bits of. I didn't really see a lot of this one last year. I caught bits of.
It was in the most part, it was a little bit disappointing, I think. Other than that gobsmacking sneak of Zelda that they showed off, which was like, whoa.
Last year was the year they revealed the amiibos, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. And by howdy, we'll get back to those later. But yeah, I'm sure it was the amiibos last year.
I remember seeing a little bit more of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was...
Did they show Splatoon as well last year?
They did show Splatoon, you're right. And Splatoon was one of those that I think it blindsided people a bit because it was a game that quite easily could have been Mario Paintball, but they'd gone with younger developers at the company, giving them the head to sort of design whatever they wanted to. And moreover, rather than being shilled a trailer, we actually saw people playing a game and we were told how the game played. And that was really refreshing to see.
Yeah, it's better than just, hey, here's a couple of shots of the characters doing some things. No, show us what you're actually going to do.
But they did.
Don't show me abstract, show me real.
They properly broke it down, but I think within them doing that, they sold the game to a lot of people by telling them how it played. And as I understand it, it's sold very, very well in Japan, and it's done quite nicely elsewhere. Although I did hear that it's a full price game in the States, like $60, whereas here it's been retailing for $25.
Oof.
Yeah, which is a colossal difference.
Ridiculous.
But, they may well show off more of the things that they're going to do with Splatoon this year, because as I understand it, they're sort of every week they're releasing like a different map and a new weapon and stuff like that. So there's still quite a bit to come from it, and they're doing like silly little things. Like I think the weapon last week was a Nintendo Zapper that sort of spat out paint and stuff. But
yeah, I heard about that.
Just I love geeky stuff like that. But yeah, I think the design of it is fantastic. It looks. Are you on a dragster?
I don't know. A thing just went past the outside of our window, and it scared me a little bit.
That's really strange.
Incredibly
That's
loud.
the point. We should have just stopped the podcast. Yeah.
I don't like it when you hear those motorbikes with the big engines. Like it's like, hey, do you hear how small that guy's dick is? Listen.
It's pretty much. Yeah.
So small.
But yeah, with the I mean, going back to the stuff that you fell in love with PlayStation 1, and I know this is a big deal, and it's something that you commented on with Sunset Overdrive as well. That that was last year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Well, we saw a bit more of it anyway. But the big, colourful, bright, like uber quenching sort of visuals. Splatoon had that in droves, I think.
Lights, colours, and shapes. I like lights, colours, and shapes.
Yeah, but it's cool to see that it's done as well as it had. But yeah, the best part of last year was the Nintendo Treehouse stuff, because it was hours on Twitch of the most detailed coverage, and they I don't know. I remember sitting in front of the Xenoblade Chronicles X one and just loving the things that I was seeing, but. I was listening and I was like, this music's amazing. Who's doing the music? And it's a guy called Sawano who did the music for things like Al Noah Zero and Kill la Kill and like loads and loads of anime that I properly love the soundtracks for. So yeah, that got me excited. But yeah, it was really cool. And also they'd saved a few of the reveals for the Treehouse coverage as well. So. Yes, that was marvellous. Let me think.
That was it for Nintendo, wasn't it? Was there anything else?
Yeah, I think
Mario Maker made an appearance, didn't it? Briefly.
Yeah, and I think they said that there was going to be a new Star Fox out this year, but nobody really saw it.
They just said it, didn't they? Once, so Star Fox, and then bye.
My Moto got a few other bits that he was working on as well. Project Guard, I think it was. And a couple of others which looked like that giant robot thing that he was doing.
Was it Steam?
No, it was one where you held the gamepad and you kind of the gamepad worked within the physics of the robot, and you could kind of punch other robots and it looked like a big sort of massive Godzilla thing, but it depended on how you built the robot and how heavy it was. And
I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, it was only a little thing, but it was him playing about with game styles. But he said it was in a really early stage. But again, they showed that off a little bit more on Treehouse, and it was double cool. So
nice.
This year, it's going to be an interesting one because they've got Persona versus Fire Emblem is coming out, which was on my kind of really looking forward to list a couple of years ago, and then it disappeared. Then it looked like it wasn't coming out, and then there was a wee bit of a reveal recently. So I'm wondering where that's going to slot into the running. We mentioned Star Fox. I'm wondering if we're going to get Monster Hunter 4 on Wii U, because they've sold all the copies they're going to sell on 3DS. There's going to be a little bit of a drift in the Wii U schedule, shall we say, and for Nintendo to potentially throw a bit of money at Microsoft and just go, will you put this on the Wii U? And Capcom have said before that they're really up for remasters because they don't take a huge amount of effort, and they
make a lot of money for them.
They make a lot of money for them, yeah, and the audience is already there. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate did well on the Wii U, as I understand it, and obviously I sunk in 250 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that seems like it would be a good fit for the Wii U and for the schedules, but we'll see. Metroid. I'm wondering if we're going to see that this year.
That's a constant one, though, isn't it? That's what
it is a constant.
Always one that I want to see.
Reggie Fils-Aimé was spotted of was it the Game Awards, not last year but the year before, with like a Metroid pin on, and people started speculating, and it has been a long time since the last one. As to whether the new one will be a side-scrolling one, or if they go full 3D again, like the Prime trilogy, I don't know. But I don't know. Retro Studios are out there, so.
And I think the recent Bloodstained Kickstarter has proven there is an audience there for the side-scrollers, isn't there?
Oh yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But with the NX coming out next year,
whatever that is,
and I presume they'll reveal that at E3 next year with sort of an end 2016 reveal. Would Nintendo be better saving a lot of this stuff for the NX and having a really good launch lineup there, or first quarter of games for that system? Because I'm presuming it's off the top of my head that it's going to be like a halfway house between the 3DS and like an actual games console, whereby you can play things on the 3DS and then the version of the 3DS that's with the NX, and then you can fuck off on the train, on the bus, wherever it is, and just take the game with you. So which would make sense, because then you're taking both of your audiences, you're smishing them together, and you've got you've got a console that I think would probably do better than a standard Nintendo one on its own.
But you've got Nintendo courting the mobile developers, haven't you? So like, could it be something like that? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like,
I don't think it's going to be all powerful. I don't think it's going to be threatening the Xbox One and the PS4 with regards to power. I think.
Will it support amiibos?
Of course it will.
Of course it will.
So, but what's tying into that? I mean, what is the 3DS's future?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because is the NX, has it been confirmed to be a handheld? Because I don't really follow this that much, if I'm honest.
I don't. Well, there's nothing that's really come out about it, but I'm speculating that it might be a halfway house between your Wii U sort of home unit, but also maybe the controller you can take away with you like a 3DS.
Maybe it'll be a tablet. Like a tablet style thing. Maybe it'll be like the Wii U handheld thing, but on its own. Maybe, I don't know. Until they actually break cover and say this is what this thing is, I don't know what the thing could even be.
I think it would be kind of suicide if they did another version of the Wii U. I mean,
it's too soon, isn't it?
I'm the console's biggest fan, but I don't think that would fall well. But if they did that halfway house between a home console and and one that you could take away with you, and all the game you could play the games on your telly or on the handheld. That to me makes sense. Plus, it's something that has not really been done.
Could it be a 3DS that plugs in your telly, a la PlayStation Vita TV?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be something more along those lines. But I think you'd be able to kind of plug in and play when you're at home, or take it on the bus or the train with you.
But I'll be interested to see what it is.
Yeah, I am curious because it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they're going to do with it. So, right. So Sony on. Then. My memories of this are quite foggy because I just remember Brian Bendis talking about powers for the most part, and dear God, could that man talk about powers? Like that was a misfire.
That was a bizarre bit, and it's the only thing I remember vividly. So what I've decided to do is bring up a roundup of last year on the internet, and I'm rolling through it, and I'm remembering stuff now. So last year we had the Destiny Alpha drop. They're like, by the way, sign up for Alpha right now, and I was like, okay. So what, a year ago today is the first time I got to play Destiny? Pretty crazy.
That was quite the mic drop, though. To be fair,
it was great. It was really good. Like, by the way, you can play Destiny tomorrow. What? Who?
Yeah, I was as someone that didn't have a next gen console at that point, because I was buying it for Destiny.
Yeah.
That was the point where I was insanely jealous of it. Also as a Halo fan as well, that had just seen sort of the remasters elsewhere.
What a mad place to be in. I was like, I'll try it. I wasn't even that asked when I first got it in. And then once the alpha was over, that was it. Sold. So pull out a good alpha and I'll buy your game. It's simple. We also got to see what else did we see? Entwined was the thing that was announced and then released on that day. Like, by the way, this is out now, and it's about a fish and a bird that were swimming around together. I bought it. It was kind of fun. Bunch of the little stuff. Got to see a bit more of Bloodborne as well last year. Christ, what else was there? I'm just rolling through, seeing anything important jump out. Grim Fandango. There was loads of indie stuff. Last year's Sony show, wasn't there? Tons of indie stuff. Devolver did quite a big bit with Not a Hero, Broforce, which we still haven't seen yet, Hotline Miami 2, Titan Souls, like loads and loads of indie stuff. And I think that's something we're going to see a lot of this year from all of them. Like, hey, yo, guys, indies. Because indies are, to coin a phrase, so hot right now. I mean, still. So I think they'd be mad to ignore that. I think Devolver are going to have a big stage presence. I think possibly Curve Digital as well.
Yeah, Curve are really kind of on the rise at the minute. It's an interesting one to behold.
Yeah. Again, more indies. I think we'll see. I'd like to see No Man's Sky actually, like, I'd like to see more than a sizzle reel of it this time. I'd like to see what you actually do in the game.
Yeah, I think that's been the constant criticism from the people that aren't sort of wowed by the procedural generation stuff and an echo that's slowly becoming louder. It's like, well, what do I do in it? Is it, is there kind of an overarching story or something that I can get involved in the background? Is there, don't know, just give me a little meat on those sexy bones, please.
Yeah, your world looks nice, but I want to know what I need to shoot. Will I dig? Will I shoot? Will I make animals? I don't know. Like, tell me what I do. And I'd like to know what the character is, because they're being quite coy about what the character even looks like, which kind of makes me kind of interested. I don't know.
Isn't the character just you?
Well, yeah, but like when you meet other players, what are they going to look like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like what's the player character? Like they're being quite coy about that, which means that could be something really cool. Like you could be an alien unique to the planet you come from, or something. That'd be kind of fun.
I was going to say, because it's one of those games that I never really thought would have a character creator.
Maybe you'll just be generated it. That would be cool. Like, okay, this is your character. It generates based off where you start and your username, and that's your character. That's who you are.
What, you won't know what you look like until you meet your mate and he takes a picture on his PS4.
That would be brilliant. Oh my god, this is what you look like. Are you like, I've been playing for 20 hours looking like this. And you're this giant sort of tentacled monstrosity.
Yeah, for some people it'd be like, oh man, it's really cool. Other people like, I'm not fucking looking like that.
I look like a cock. I need to start again.
I will meet you in 2 months' time again, maybe. I will hopefully look better.
Wait here on Gamulon 7. I'll see you in a year.
Yeah. All right then.
I think I don't know. I think I've just sold myself on the idea of like it generates your character for you, and you don't get a say in it. Like this is the character you get based on based on your username. Kind of like like in the X-Men, how you don't get to choose what power you get. You're just this is your power. The same thing. Like right, this is what you look like now. You stuck with it. Even if you re-roll a character, you still look like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, I quite like that. It's also a nice little spin on however many character creators we've had for years and years.
Exactly.
It's just like, this is who you are.
Yeah.
You don't know what you look like, just accept it.
If the game's procedurally generated, why not the player characters as well?
Yeah. But you can meet your mates up in the game.
Apparently. You need to cross a galaxy to find them, but apparently you can. And I'm in for that.
I don't know, because...
Can you imagine? We need to meet up. It's going to take a week.
Fair play. Book a week off.
Honestly, but that moment when you do, the triumph will be astonishing.
Well, I remember when... I remember staying up and waiting to see if Hidetaka Miyazaki came on stage. And he did. And at the part that he did, my internet went, "You died."
Oh.
And at that point, I was sort of like cursing my Virgin internet box. I was like, and I was
because he came on and did a
Twitter.
little giggle, didn't he? Like,
Oh, well, no.
it was cute.
But yeah, at that point, I was trying to reboot my internet, and I was looking on my phone Twitter, and it was like, "Oh my god, he's here!" And I was like,
"Bloodborne stuff's happening."
Although the kind of funny that the part that my internet died was when he came on. But yeah, we was that the first point that we'd actually seen it as Bloodborne?
I don't know,
because it was Project Beast, and that wasn't it. Sort of wasn't it early June last year that those
might have
gifs
been
leaked?
Yeah.
Because it was Project Beast at that point, so that's the first time that we saw it as Bloodborne, and the first time that we had sort of an official reveal that, and they were showing the game behind closed doors, weren't they? At E3 last year, they were just taking taking journos into the back and letting them have a run around in Yharnam.
Yeah,
and I think the first proper gameplay reveal was on Sony's Twitch.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's what we were waiting for, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was the thing.
The Bendis thing was just bizarre.
Yeah, the Bendis thing. Let's talk about powers for 20 minutes. Like, why? Who? Like, I understand. Fine, it's cool. It's cool. A new TV show based on a comic that's really good. Fine, brilliant. I'm okay with that. But did you need to spend that long?
I think the frustration was that there were so many really good Vita games that Sony could have shown there in its place, or even if it was cut down to half.
Yeah.
But Sony has a problem promoting good Vita games anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff that just seemingly remains ignored, and you've got aspects like Soul Sacrifice Delta, where the 99% of people haven't got a fucking clue what it is.
No.
Freedom Wars sort of limped out. The Sword Art Online as an anime is massive, but they didn't do anything to promote that Vita game that they did.
It's a bizarre place to be. They always. For a while, Gamescom used to be the Vita show, didn't it? They used to do the E3 used to be the big AAA show, and then they used to do like the Vita and the indie game show used to be Gamescom. And that's not the case anymore, is it? Like they just don't have a Vita show anymore, which is odd.
I could have understood it if Sony had done what Microsoft did and just like boom, 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 game, and then at the end of it, you sort of stopped and you went, yeah, that was pretty fast paced. That was pretty action packed. They really couldn't have squeezed any more games in there. Would be nice to see some Vita stuff, but they really couldn't have squeezed anything else in. But there were points where that Sony show sagged.
Yeah, the bit where they talked about the PlayStation, the Vita TV as well, that bit went on far too long, I thought.
Yeah, and I think the new guy in charge seems very dull.
I like his face, but I don't like the way he presents.
because I liked Jack Tretton. I really liked Jack Tretton because Jack Tretton sort of came on stage with an air of somebody that was excited to talk to you about the things that he knew. And always thought he was really, I don't know, he was really approachable seemingly. I just really liked Jack Tretton, and the new guy kind of seems like the dad. Is it one of your mates' dads as a kid that is dressing a bit too young for himself, and he's sort of borderline embarrassing?
Yeah. See, I know who I want, but I want this year. I want what's his name? Adam Boyes.
Adam Boyes is great.
Love Adam Boyes.
Adam Boyes has got that thing that we mentioned. He's got that sort of sparkle that Tretton had.
Yeah.
But Adam Boyes has just got. I love that he laughs at himself.
Yeah.
And he just looks like he's delighted to be there, or is on the strongest drugs. Whatever, which wherever the balance is, I don't care, because when he comes on stage, you smile because he's smiling.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I kind of have a little issue with the likes of, like, is it Andrew House?
House is okay. I don't mind Andrew House. He's a nice medium between kind of can be a little bit funny sometimes, but can get the stuff across.
Well, I suppose. I mean, thinking of it rationally, it's about the different ways of delivering your message, and you probably wouldn't want Adam Boyes delivering the message that Andrew House delivers, and you've got to have sort of your peaks and troughs, your different waveforms throughout a conference. But
I don't know. I think you just get Mr. Caffey and just stay at 10 for the entire show.
Steady.
Okay.
So there was that. Is it Unto Dawn?
Until Dawn, yeah, the survival horror-y looking thing that was kind of mentioned briefly, and they showed a little bit of it, I think, and it kind of went away. It looks kind of neat. I think it's going to get a lot of shit from the people who don't like David Cage games as well. It's going to catch a lot of shit from those people. But I don't know. I'll give it a go. Looks like it could be fun. Looks like it could be playing a teen slasher film.
Yeah, it seems to be pitching itself as there's like a I don't know, not quite a survival horror in the sense of a Silent Hill, but something a lot more mainstream, I guess.
Yeah,
but the stuff I've seen has not piqued my interest.
Yeah,
one bit.
We'll see. There might be one that makes a return this year. What else was last year? Christ, we got nice big trailers for Phantom Pain. It was the one that had the nuclear song on the back, which was one of the best things I've ever seen. We had the GTA 5 next gen drop, I think, on that show as well. First show off of the Batmobile stuff in the new Batman game, which I really am not asked about at all.
I'll tell you what was weird last year, and my thoughts on this were piqued by Andy Hamilton on Twitter, and I know that Square have their own show this year, and he may have been mocking when he mentioned this, but you remember last year, like, Final Fantasy VII kicked in, and everybody went like,
yeah,
and then they saw that it was a PC port, and everyone was like,
yeah,
but that never came out. So are we going to see? Do you think Square might have done at least a little bit to Final Fantasy VII?
Maybe
smoothed off the edges, or
you know how fast they work these days. Who knows? Like,
but it just seems strange that a game that's set up to just be released.
Yeah,
I mean, if they'd have done like a Destiny and gone like, and it's on the PlayStation Store now. Oh fucking hell! We had PT last year.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course we did. No, wait, that was at Gamescom. I remember vividly that was announced at Gamescom because I was on honeymoon when that was announced. I was like, what is this thing everyone's talking about? And didn't find out till I got home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Final Fantasy VII one's a little bit weird.
It was the best thing though. Just like everyone's collective butts tightened, like, oh, it's
it really
real.
Was. Like, if I saw Twitter inhale on that night, like, collectively, but the wrath that followed that was strange. I mean, on the one hand, from the point of view of being a Blighty, if that is a PC port, it will be the first time that I'll have played Final Fantasy VII in its original speed.
Wow.
Because it was a lot slower, wasn't it, on the English release than the
Do you
original.
know, I have absolutely no idea. I
the
never follow any of that stuff. The games are as fast as they are. I never once followed any of that stuff.
Yeah, well, the US sort of NTSC was always gimped somewhat for power releases and stuff back in the day across the board. Whether it be, you remember, borders top and bottom, like
love it,
and slower. But it'd be interesting to see. I don't know, just to feel how it originally ran for the other half of the coin. I mean, even over here, do you remember when you get something on the US PlayStation Store and it take the PS1 remasters, and it take fucking forever for them to come out over here in comparison.
Yeah, true.
Because they were sorting out that version of the game rather than like Final Fantasy VII going up on the PS3 store in America and Sony being able to go, right, well, it's coming out in Britain sort of in 2 weeks, and it be that version, but instead it was the version that we originally got, so we were getting kind of a crappier version, even though all this time's gone by and things have changed. So yeah, I'm curious about that. So
yeah, right, that's all the Sony memories I've got. Like just Brian Bendis' face.
Yeah,
let's hope for none of that this year. Anything else from last year to cover?
I can't think on the Sony front. I mean, after this, EA were laughable.
Yep. Here's some sport and Battlefield.
Well, not just that. I mean, like Mass Effect 4 and the trilogy remaster were mentioned with a few half-assed pieces of artwork.
Legitimately,
and then a few members of
mentioned. Like that was it.
A few members of BioWare talking with a light bulb in the background. Speaking of BioWare, I hope EA signify the most boring, empty fucking husk of a forthcoming title this year with a cellist being moved on stage, much as they did for the atrocious Dragon Age Inquisition. I will never forgive the 2 months of my life that piece of shit stole from me.
I mean, EA tend to have a couple of interesting bits. I always look forward to the EA one because most of it is garbage. Like, most of it is stuff that I'm not going to buy. But every now and again, they'll go, by the way, we're making another Mirror's Edge. And then, okay, fine, EA, that's good. That's the EA I used to like. Yep. Battlefront coming back. Yep, fine, make it. Brilliant, I'll buy it. Good. The rest of it, it's sport. Who cares? Like, not to disparage anyone who enjoys a sport game, but I do not. I just don't care.
There's a man with very plastic hair who announces things, an Australian man. I always look forward to him coming on stage, wondering what products he uses, and then we're looking at as the light just like hits this kind of glistening slug-like licorice, which somehow rests slightly above his eyebrows.
A delightful image.
Yeah, we had that. You know how we were talking with Final Fantasy VII about the internet sort of taking an intake of breath?
Yeah.
And you will have forgotten about this, but we had a game that no one wants shown off by the embers of Criterion, where you can race a bike, a plane, or something else against each other, all seen with an enthusiastic team, fair enough, with some early renders and concept art. But when Criterion came up, everyone went, "Oh, Burnout!"
Yeah. It won't be
and then afterwards, people going like, "I don't want to play that game. I do not want to play that game.
Yeah.
It might be alright, but I don't want to play that game."
It was fucking test footage of like, here's a car and here's a helicopter and here's a man and here's the dev team stood in a pub. I'm sure they're lovely people, but like, look at the
vectors. Imagine it's good. Imagine it's next year. But other than that, I think that this year they've probably got a little bit more to kind of tickle on.
They have.
We've got that Need for Speed reboot, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
We've got Star Wars stuff. We've got the Battlefront, and maybe that Amy Hennig game.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got Mirror's Edge. It isn't Mirror's Edge 2 now, is it? Something like Mirror's Edge Catalyst?
Something like that. And apparently it isn't Mirror's Edge 2, which is strange. Like, oh, please don't be a mobile game.
Do you know what would stop the fucking show if they did it? And I'm sure it's not in production.
Go for it.
So it's not going to happen. But if EA came to the final moment where... on the other side of it, do you remember Ubisoft when they released... they showed that first footage of Watch Dogs? And it wasn't my bag. It caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, fucking hell.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, there were lots of people kind of jumped up and down about it. But if EA came to the end of their conference and, you know, they've potentially, you know, got... If they've got a Mass Effect there, as well as their other bits, they've got a few bits that aren't sport that could raise eyebrows.
They've got cars as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
and guns.
At the end of that, because they're not going to have a Battlefield this year, because that's pretty much only just come out. So if at the end of that, maybe they were like, "Oh, we've got one last surprise," and everything goes dark, and you know you see something really sort of curious and intriguing sort of going on. You can't quite picture it, and then like at the end, it just comes up with like Dead Space 4 or something. People would go fucking bonkers because it, you know, I think enough time's gone since Dead Space 3. EA kind of had their hands quite heavily in the pie with with Dead Space 3, and it didn't really reach a sales or a critical or a fan.
I like Dead Space 3. I don't care what anyone says. I fucking love Dead Space 3. It was really good.
But it didn't reach the same sort of plateau.
No, not at all.
Dead Space 2 did. Because Dead Space was really... Well, it had a degree of popularity, and it had that aspect where, because the game hit a certain price point quite quickly, that it was like, oh, I've heard that's all right, I'll give it a go. And that huge fan base was built for Dead Space, which then translated into Dead Space 2, which was a completely different kind of game. Dead Space 2 was fucking ace. It was, you know, Aliens to Dead Space's Alien. And I just think with the new gen of consoles, if they did even show off a trailer for a new Dead Space, people will go fucking bonkers. And I'd imagine that there must be some sort of trade-off for the team that did Dead Space doing Battlefront.
Yeah,
there
maybe.
There must be trade. I mean, I know Amy Hennig's with that team for doing that new Star Wars game, but I'm just wondering if kind of it's like, well, if we're going to do Battlefront, can we have our head for a new Dead Space, please?
Let's have a go. Go on.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
I'd be up for that. I'd be genuinely excited for that.
Make it co-op again, and I'm sold.
Well,
loved the co-op in the last one. It was really fun.
Well, I mean, that was one of the things that people were saying. They've just done that because co-op is popular.
Yeah, I can see where those people are coming from, but like, it was also like fun to play. It wasn't as creepy, but it was certainly fun.
Has there ever been a co-op survival horror game?
Resident Evil 5 and 6. I maintain that Resident Evil 5 is good, and fuck all of y'alls who don't think so. I love Resi 5. Me and the wife played the shit out of Resi 5. Platinumed that thing. Like, we beat that thing on professional and everything. We never do that.
I'm wondering if there was something that was quite dark and quite sinister that was co-op. If that would kind of find a niche that nobody's really done. Because as Resident Evil 5 falls into the bracket of survival horror, it's still kind of quite cartoony and quite a little bit daft.
Bits of Resi 6, I would say, were approaching that kind of creep again. Like the Leon bits, particularly when you're sort of pomping around Raccoon City again. Or something similar to Raccoon City. Like, that was legitimately scary at points. Like,
but is there anything more sinister in the Leon game of seeing a child's chair and not being able to leap over it, but then moving a giant sort of post out of the way?
Yeah, but you could give like thumbs ups.
Oh, fair play.
And that made all the difference. So you could give, good job. Okay. Nice job.
Ubisoft.
Ubi.
Last year, I'd say, is it Asia Taylor?
Yep. Aisha Tyler.
Yeah, that's the lady.
Her.
I thought she was magnificent last year. I thought she was confident, she was enthusiastic. She was easily the best part of that UB presentation. And she is back again this year.
Good.
And she didn't have that Mr. Caffeine twatting away in the background this year.
That wasn't Mr. Caffeine that was with her last year.
Oh, it was Tobuscus, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
YouTube personalities, great.
But I didn't. The nice thing about Miss Tyler is that she is a gamer, and she seemed really, really up for it. And again, she was laughing at herself and the audience, and she just seemed to be enjoying being up there. So, last year we had first real swipe at Assassin's Creed Unity, or as it became known afterwards with the controversies, No Woman, No Cry.
Ooh,
that's a Far Cry joke.
That's good.
As calls for the lack of inclusivity marked the initial showing. I mean, all Ubi had to do at that point was state that you're playing a specific character, and when you go into multiplayer, it's that character from everyone's game that joins together. But instead, they said that women were harder to animate or some such rubbish, and the start of the press takedown of that game began at that point.
And boy howdy, to be honest, that was quite an entertaining backlash. I enjoyed that backlash. It was silly.
It was just...
It was stupid, but it was silly.
It just made people wonder that who is doing the press releases for Ubisoft, because they just seem to, whomever it is, they just seem to put their foot in it massively.
There's always at least one, isn't there? Though there's one every year.
I don't know.
Like the PlayStation one, which was Get a Second Job, and the Microsoft Adamorph guy who was like, who doesn't have internet these days? Like, there's always one, isn't there?
I mean, at that point, I hadn't played. I hadn't enjoyed an Assassin's Creed since the first one, and I know that that's pretty anomalous in itself, and that 2 that everybody told me I'd get into, I didn't. I came back and had a bit of a tickle with 3 and didn't get on with it. Played a touch of Black Flag, didn't really get on with it, but I fucking loved Assassin's Creed Unity, and I'd still say it's the best combat I've played since Demon's Souls. It was heavy and it was meaty. I proper love that game. Really, really loved it. But there's a lot of people that had an opinion that had never even got near it. So yes. This year we've got Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, which is Assassin's Creed but with top hats this time.
Yeah.
That's alright. He could put it away in his coat. Like, okay, stealth.
That is an actual thing though. It's not a.
I know.
It's not a disappearing hat.
Yeah, it poofs and he puts it away, and then he can pop the hat back open and put it back on. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But it is a thing from back in that day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So the internet seems completely not arsed about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And this is the first time I've ever said this about Assassin's Creed. That'll be day 1 for me.
Wow.
I'm up for this. As I said, I loved Unity to pieces. It looks fun. I like that Victorian London looks bright and gorgeous. The alpha that we've seen doesn't have many people on the streets, but they did label it as an alpha. And knowing how bustling and alive and what a brilliant character Paris was in Unity, I'd imagine when we see that at E3, those streets are just going to be chocker. Which makes me very excited.
Full of geezers with bad accents.
Well, I think this time that the streets are going to actually be full of people from England in an English game, rather than it being like, all right, my lad, Spain's looking a bit bad today, isn't it?
Them Medici bastards are no good again.
So, wow. I don't know why they keep bothering us around these Paris slums. It's a strange one, but I'm up for that. I like Jacob Fry, the lead, and his sister. And as was pointed out on one of the videos that I saw on Xbox On, they were saying that women weren't easily employed in that time zone, and it wasn't easy for them to get jobs, and a lot of the crime that was or the crime leaders, the crime lords in London at the time were actually women.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm being able to kind of go into rough areas of London and try and take on the gangs and win the gangs, and have them fight other gangs, and it just looks fun, and I quite like that huge sort of Just Cause meets Bionic Commando sort of up a wall. It looks.
If it has the sort of if the main character's kind of a bit of a bastard like Black Flag was, then I'd probably be in for that one. Like, because he was Edward Kenway from Black Flag is probably my favourite of all the assassins by quite a mile now, because he was a bit of a dick.
He looks a bit of an arsehole, but also that wonderful side of charming.
Yeah,
which I quite like. A rogue, that's exactly it.
Rogue.
And I'm interested to see how they do the balance between sort of him and his sister, or even if that you can play as his sister from the off and have Jacob perhaps be the secondary character. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be up for that.
Yeah. Apparently they've worked out how to animate women now, so
we'll never cease.
Oh, the joke. That's the joke. Doesn't get old. They also showed off. Ubi showed off that Siege, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I saw
and which was the most unrealistic gameplay demo I've ever seen, because each team was working together and talking about the game and not insulting each other's mothers.
Well, Video Gamer had a little bit of a preview recently, and they said that it wasn't massively like that. But I watched Timur Hussain on GameSpot sort of talk about how much he's looking forward to it, and he said that, you know, as shooters have become these massive things where you get sniped from way across the landscape and stuff, it's kind of interesting to have something that's, you know, in a really tight location, where, you know, the other person isn't going to be like in a building over there, and
halfway there someone you can't see kills you.
Yeah, and they're actually likely to be in a different room, and you've got destructible walls, and whilst that a realistic shooter isn't my bag particularly, I can see why those quirks would be kind of cool.
I wouldn't I'd probably be bad at playing it, but I wouldn't mind seeing the replays.
Yeah, it might be one of those that, I mean, we've not got Chat and John anymore, but if we had, you know, my week in Sieges or something, my week in Rainbows.
Rainbows, oh god.
But that would have been quite cool to watch, because, you know, sometimes there are sort of games on the net it's interesting to see people play, even if you wouldn't play them yourself. So
I'd like to watch it from like a top-down perspective to see where people move around and stuff in like a tactical view of it. Like, I think that sort of spectator mode should be in there, because I think it could be fun. Like, I'd like to see that.
That would be something that would work quite well if they if you had a code for your mates and one of them had a tablet, and they could see like the top-down version, or maybe they could even instruct to us to what was going on with an overview, like a heat treated view of like the building and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, sort of going like, I've got movement 2 rooms down. Be careful. The movement stopped. I think they might be hiding behind something. There's a number of walls in there. There's also other heat signatures. I think they might have hostages. That might be really fucking cool if they did that, because it make it feel like it's not just you and your mates in the moment, that you're actually listening out to see what your friends are going to say.
Imagine if the person on the thing could actually like tag the map, so it kind of pings up what they're talking about, like 2 rooms down straight ahead, bing, and a little marker would pop up showing what they're talking. That could be neat.
Actually, that would kind of get me a little bit interested, I think.
I'd be in for that. You could be useful without having to shoot a man.
Well, people have always got friends that aren't into gaming, who might like to get involved with stuff. Say somebody that's got an iPad, but it's not bothered about consoles and stuff. Being able to then play with those people and just have this strategic, tactical view on proceedings, which is born of almost like being in a movie,
Yeah,
rather
definitely.
than playing the game and having to rely on quick reactions and stuff. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
is that all of the shows for now? Is that all of it?
No, sir. We have much more to do.
There's
and
more
also,
shows.
You forgot a biggie.
From the past? What?
You have forgotten a biggie.
Have I?
The Division.
Oh, yeah!
So it's delayed until 2016. And I know you're looking forward to it, but I'd say the delay's a good sign on this one.
I'd like it to be good, but I'm kind of... The more they delay it, the more I get worried. I don't know. Like, the fact that it's gone a bit quiet, I don't see as being a particularly encouraging sign. Like, I want them to be shouting about it. Look at this, look how cool it is. And maybe it's not as exciting as it looked.
May I remind you, sir, of The Crew?
That's true.
Where Ubi were jumping up and down. In fact, they did this with Watch Dogs and stuff as well, where it's like, look, we're not going to shut up about this. This is the great thing. This is the really great thing. And wasn't.
Do you remember, because it was that game where where it came out, but you couldn't join a crew?
We are going to play that game
because
now.
Drive Club did that too, where they came out and you couldn't join a Drive Club.
But we are going to play that game now. It's £13, aren't we?
Unless, well, as long as we can join a division, then I'm okay.
No, I mean like The Crew.
Oh,
we are going to get that just to see what kind of a sort of pile up it is.
Yeah, I've seen some excellent gifs of the route marker. Just going like, no, drive off the cliff. It's fine. Do it. Okay.
Honestly, I'm up for. Whereas you were really excited about The Crew, they showed it off again last year. You were really excited for The Crew.
It looked fun.
I thought it looked like bollocks. But given that it's settled in about £13 now, I think we'll get £13 worth of laughs out of that.
I think so.
And maybe who was it? It was Peter Cleaves had been playing it, and he's been having sort of quite a lot of fun with it. Yeah. But I think you then arriving with no expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of good. And I know that we're going to put that on and have a proper laugh.
And you know that there will be some beef formed about, you keep bumping me. I'm not bumping you. Stop bumping me.
And I'm going
to be a twat.
We're going to tear into that fucking story. But yeah, maybe. I mean, Ubisoft had a bit of a climb down a little while ago, saying like, we know we let people down. We appreciate you calling us out on us, and calling us out on it, and we're going to strive to do better in the future. Maybe that's what's plowed into the Division, that they saw they need a bit more time. Maybe gave the development team more of their head to implement ideas which weren't the Ubi template. But I don't know. The stuff that I'd seen previously, because we had that trailer, didn't we? The Invisible trailer last year, which you loved, and I just thought was balls. The one where the guy.
Oh yeah, the invisible one. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice idea.
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's done correctly. That I'm wondering if it could be one of those things like Destiny, where people will just meet up for a shoot and a laugh, or if it's something else entirely. But it needs to, with it having that MMO like quality, it needs to retain its audience and keep them there. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm a little more positive about that. Plus, with us having played more games together in this last year, that kind of interests me, that we might rock up to this and just have a good time, because we really have had a good time with things like Destiny. So
as long as I can make my car orange, then really that's all I need.
Are you getting a car?
In the game?
In the Division?
In the I thought we were talking about The Crew. It's been a long day. No, can I make my guy in the Division orange?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
it's a blanket statement for my entire life. Can I make my thing orange? Yep, I'm okay.
Honestly.
So
I'm wondering if we're going to get some smaller Ubisoft bits in there as well. Like maybe there's been a long since promised Prince of Persia in the UbiArt engine.
Ooh, don't even.
Maybe
don't play with me like that.
Maybe we'll get like a fully fledged one again. Will we get Far Cry 5 or perhaps another Blood Dragon sort of game? I don't know. Surprises Ubisoft. I think it'd be good for them to like tear the rug out from under people and do something that nobody expects.
Ubisoft, at very least, like their shows might not have the most stuff in them, but they're always entertaining. Like they always have something. And I maintain, and I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this. I liked Mr. Caffeine. Okay. I liked him. He was a breath of fresh air in an otherwise boring show.
I don't remember him. I just remember...
he was awful. He was the best kind of awful. He was the kind of awful where people were talking about him for months, and people are still talking about Mr. Caffeine 4 years on.
Oh, they have.
He's terrible, but he was great. Bring him back.
They have said today that all these rumours that there's going to be a PS4 and Xbox One port of the absolutely superb Zombie U.
I heard that. It's crazy.
It's a stunning game. It's an absolutely storming game. So I hope that's a thing. I really do.
Yeah. Okay.
So
nice. So is this a good point for a quick break?
Okay. Insert some music. Sir.
Get yourselves a beverage. We'll see you back here in 2.
All right. Welcome back from Paddy's bladder break.
Illusion shattered.
No. So other stuff that we've got. Activision. Last year, I can't even remember other than Destiny. There was a different look at Call of Duty. Probably some Skylanders there.
I can't remember Activision at all last year.
Don't remember much. This year, I suppose. There'll be a deeper look at the Taken King, the Destiny expansion.
I definitely think so.
I think we'll get a longer look at that on the Activision showing, but we might get a first glimpse of that at Sony, given that it's still tied quite heavily to.
I think you're right.
PS4.
Yep.
But other than that, what have Activision got coming?
There's a Tony Hawk's game on the roll.
Yeah, but other than that, what have Activision got coming?
That's the problem. I mean, who cares? There's I suppose we've got Guitar Hero and Rock Band winding their wheels back up again, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see anything there that's going to wow me, and I don't think it did last year. And I think it says a lot that we can't really remember very much from it at all.
X-Men Destiny 2, maybe?
So on Sunday, we've got the Bethesda show.
Which is new.
Yeah, so we've got...
I wonder what they could be showing.
Well, I think while we know that Fallout 4 is going to be shown to a greater degree.
In depth, definitely.
Doom is going to be there as well.
Oh, yeah, they've got Doom, haven't they?
They have got Doom. So
crap. What else do they do as well?
Yeah, well, I think it's quite remarkable that they showed off Doom last year, was it? And just said to people, don't let anybody else see this, don't talk about it. And nobody has.
Yeah, but people have managed to keep it quiet, which is amazing on the internet.
And all we've seen is that guy with the guns on his shoulders doing a shimmy, shimmy, shake. And that's all we've seen. That kind of, come at me, bro.
Brutal Doom.
So what did you make of the Fallout 4 trailer?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I thought it had the right sort of tone to it. It looks like another Fallout game. I can't say I was jaw-dropping excited.
Yeah.
I played Fallout 3 to death. Loved the crap out of it. Absolutely hated Vegas. Could not get on with it. I got no more than a couple of hours in. I just kept bouncing off of it. I just didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I just couldn't do it again.
Uh-huh.
When you play a game series, this is after the third or fourth beating of Fallout 3 before I started Vegas, and I bounced off it a few times. And I just I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do one of those games again.
Yeah.
They're big. And again, Skyrim is probably the most recent example where I, played so much of it, 50, 60 hours of it, and just ran out of energy with it. Just ran out of puff. And as much as I think the Fallout 4 is going to be interesting, it's going to be a good game, and the internet's probably going to go crazy on it, and there's probably going to be some new Tunnel Snakes thing. Fine, bring it. Yep. I don't know. I'm just not that uberly excited for it. I like the idea of it more than I like the idea of having to sit down and chuck another 100 hours in.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It doesn't look massively different from what the trailer's made it seem so far. But I mean, I've been wrong before. I'd be happy if I was wrong. But what did you make of it?
I got really excited about it. I liked that. I mean, the weird thing was with Fallout 3 that initially when I got it, I bounced off it like immediately, and just shelved it for ages. Didn't even trade it, just shelved it. And then I was particularly poor and out of work when Skyrim was coming out, and no, I think I was down to rent Skyrim from Love Film at that point, and I ended up sticking Fallout 3 on and just falling in love with it and really enjoying like the world and the characters and the VAT system I absolutely adored. And then when Skyrim did turn up, it wasn't Fallout 3, and I was really into Fallout 3, so I played that to pieces and then got the DLC for it. Picked up New Vegas, but hadn't played it until a couple of days ago, and did that purely off the back of like seeing the Fallout 4 trailer. But I really liked the trailer. I liked that the apocalypse looked that colourful. I thought it looked...
Okay, here's my question. So we've seen lots of stuff of things before it all got fucked. Do you think we'll get to play during the fucking?
I don't know.
When the bombs are going off and like when people are scrabbling to the vaults. Like, I like to see that. Like, you don't see it often enough. You seem to see like, oh, here's the world, a happy place, and then it flashes forward and there was a war. Like, show me the bit when the war starts. Like, show me a bit where things are starting to go to hell.
Kate Gray did a really good piece on a really good trailer breakdown on Xbox On about Fallout 4, and she was saying like with the character at the end, she was wondering if you play an android, or at least that's one of the character classes that you can play, because it just seemed a little beyond human compared to the other stuff. And it's like, yeah,
that's just Bethesda character animation though, isn't it?
No, I kind of like that, because there were a few people that were saying sort of like that it's got no arse, the character, but
wow,
yeah.
So hang on, so people without arses are automatically robots?
Yeah, by design.
No such thing as a flat ass in 1960s future time.
So
wow.
So yeah, I was really excited about that, and folks are saying that is it sort of mid-October that it's due.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, much like the main character, I don't think I'm all that arsed.
What if it was co-op?
Okay, different story.
Yeah, that's why I'm introducing this
That's
question.
the lightning in a bottle. That's what would make it good again. Like, because I think, yeah, co-op would be brilliant, because then we could run around like idiots together, having fun wasteland adventures. Whereas by yourself, it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna get some more bottle caps.
Do you think it would be possible for the VAT system to work in co-op?
Because piss! No, it wouldn't, would it?
Wouldn't. That's the only thing I'm thinking, but. Maybe you could play the dog. But you can have an orange dog.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
some sort of...
Sealed.
Sealed. Yep, done. Yeah. I'll be the dog. I'll be the co-op partner. That's fine.
So
maybe that second person controls via their tablet.
Yeah. How dare you.
And they see a vision of the map, but in smell-o-vision, so they can smell the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, actually, I'm quite enjoying that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
So Square Enix have got their own show this year.
I wonder if they're going to show Final Fantasy 15.
Well, I think that's a given. But the more I thought about it, the more they actually have got to show off. So they've got that. They've got the new Deus Ex. Just Cause.
Oh yeah, Mankind Divided, of course.
Yeah, Just Cause 3 is going to be there. And apparently there's...
I suppose we'll see a bit more Tomb Raider, won't we?
Yeah, I'd imagine we'd see a touch more of that. But apparently they've got a new front mission coming as well.
Okay.
Which is, it was mentioned on the interwebs the other day that apparently one of Armored Core's designers has jumped to Square and he's working on a front mission reboot. So that's interesting. So yeah, there's a few bits there that I'm quite curious about, but I suppose whilst it's not a showing of itself, but From Software, let's not forget, we've not really touched on them yet. So
no,
we've got.
We never talk about them, do we?
So we've got the Bloodborne DLC, which will probably be at the Sony show, I guess. But Dark Souls 3, there's a big reveal there for one show. It doesn't.
I still think that's going to be the Microsoft show.
What, Dark Souls 3?
I think it's going to be the Microsoft show. I think we're going to see some Blooded stuff at Sony's, and I think Microsoft are going to have the Dark Souls 3. That's what I think.
That's a good balance. Mind you, thinking about this, do you remember a few years ago when, oh god, this was a peach, when Dark Souls 2 was shown at the Microsoft show?
Yes.
Just before they showed Rise, which looked shitter and was on new technology.
Yep. I remember that.
So yeah, Dark Souls 3, I agree with you. That will be at the Microsoft show. I'm wondering if there will be a new Armored Core, because it is one of From's big previous titles, I guess. It's due a reboot, and if they give it a greater degree of accessibility.
Possibly. I mean, I'm not all that familiar with From's work outside of the Souls games, really. So, like, it could be anything. The only one I know of that I've played was Dot Game Heroes, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was that.
And I actually thought that was kind of crap.
Well, with I know that was it Armored Core 4 and perhaps 4 Answer as well were directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki, and apparently there's loads of Dark Souls references in it.
Oh,
so I would actually be up for playing that on co-op as well. Sean Bell mentioned recently it'd be interesting to try and get a team together and do a bit of co-op on that. But I given that there's some Souls references contained within, that makes me a little bit curious, and that it's Hidetaka Miyazaki as well. What else we got? Capcom have announced Mega Man HD collection, Resident Evil 0 probably shown off. Dragon's Dogma HD remaster, please.
Dragon's Dogma Online, maybe we might see this year.
Right, I put this to you, mate. Something else that you forgot, and so has everybody else. But I'll be curious to see what kind of state it's in now, but deep down.
I've written that down on my notes.
Have you written it deep down?
I wrote it deep down. I wrote it deep down in the list. Yes. Where has that gone?
Well, they said that they were taking another look at it and they were repositioning it. When I asked Capcom UK about it earlier on in the year, they said that it wasn't coming out in the West now, which I don't agree with at all. So
I'm interested in that. I like to go into dungeons and stab a thing. The whole the free to play thing. I think there was quite a bit of a backlash when that came out, wasn't there? But it looks fun. I
suppose it'd be interesting if Capcom showed off a HD remaster of, or I suppose they'd have to put quite a bit more into it. But Resident Evil 2.
It would, yeah. At this point, Resident Evil. I was talking about this with Laura outside. I would much rather with Resi they stop doing the HD remasters and they just completely reboot the entire thing. Call it Resident Evil Rebirth or something. Just have a nice sort of cohesive start and just start again with it. Maybe I don't know. I don't really want to see remasters all over again. I've got them. 1 or 2 is fun, but I don't want to see them doing them for everything, especially when a Resident Evil 2 and 3 one would take a shitload of resources, where I'd rather see a new story. I want to see a new story.
Would you go more gritty with it, or would you go full B movie?
Don't make me choose.
I'm making you choose.
Full B movie.
Full B movie, okay.
Go full B movie, fuck it. If you're going to do it, do it. Call it Resident Evil Dangerous or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're terrible at this.
It's awful. No, you make it really
Revelations.
Bad. Yep.
Resident Evil Brotherhood.
Ooh.
No, I think it'd be interesting if they did go quite realistic with it. If they went sort of nudging up against sort of borderline PT type stuff. But if they had, you could still take your the essence of the characters, say a Leon or something like that, or a team that are going in to investigate a group of murders, and like play it sort of quite straight. I think that could be quite interesting and pretty big.
But on the same, on the other side of that coin, giant invisible snakes.
Yeah, well, I suppose if they were doing this kind of reboot and you were separating yourself from the previous universe, you'd have to think of something else.
Why not go? Yeah, why not go really weird with it, like proper B movie, like schlock?
No, that's not what I'm
I'd
saying.
love it.
That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
I want it.
I'm saying that within the more serious regard, they could do things within the psychological or like a J horror type stuff, or there's a route that they could go down if they wanted to, with a more serious option. But interesting.
Yeah, but all right. Now let me pose this to you. So you've got Claire Redfield running around like lost, and then a door opens and a dark figure shoots at her, but around her, and shoots the zombie behind her, and she goes, "Oh, thanks. Who are you?" And then the light pans up, and you get a cool cutaway shot. He goes, "I'm Leon fucking Kennedy," and shoots it. Like, come on, yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah, but you could still have.
It seems like we both want completely different things out of Resident Evil these days. I want it to go stupid,
but you could still have like a confident Leon Kennedy that's kind of brash and brings that degree of kind of laughability and sort of brashness to the team. Mind you, you think of where Leon was when he first came into Resident Evil before they built him up into Dr. Quip, and he was sort of the innocent cop on his first day at in a new city. So they took him from something that was a little calmer, shall we say, and they turned him into the old 80s action hero. So
yeah, Resident Evil. Fluctuating histories.
The only other thing I can really think of was Warner Brothers, that they've got the Mad Max game to show.
Oh God, yeah. It's like Shadow of Mordor, but in the Mad Max world, isn't it? Pretty much.
The team behind Just Cause, isn't it? That's doing it. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I'm wondering if they might show off. I mean, Batman won't quite be out yet, so they'll have a bit of that to show a final few tantalising bits, but I'm wondering if they might tease, say, a Shadow of Mordor sequel.
Ooh,
at least
because that game sets up for a sequel. Definitely does.
Well, I don't know. It's been really big for them as well. So why not?
I think the Mad Max is what I'd like to see. Let's capitalise on it now, while the Mad Max is so hot right now. I think probably one of the either Sony or Microsoft show, probably Sony's. I think, because that's where we saw it first. We'll see a little bit of the Mad Max. Maybe not a lot, but maybe a couple of minute trailer or something.
So
just the car driving and getting into a scrape. Maybe that would be cool. I'd like to see that, just driving along, nothing going on, and then just like events just occur.
So
that'd be cool. Yeah.
You
okay.
wrote out a few bits that. Well, go for it.
Okay, I did. Well, before I get to like my real predictions for the show. I'd like to make some predictions in a very special category, which I've thought of for this year, and it's a category that it comes up a lot at E3, but it doesn't get the recognition that I think it deserves. And here are my predictions for the E3 category of 20 minutes of wanking on about something.
Okay.
Right. So, you know how in every show there's that bit where they start talking about something and they keep going and going and going, and you fall asleep and you wake back up and they're still talking about it. Powers, for instance, great example, right? Every single company has that moment where they just go going and going and going, and you just want them to stop. So I've made some rough predictions for what each company is going to wank on about. And I'd like to see, once we've finished this, what the actual results are, and maybe we'll give an award to the company who wanked on for the longest about something we didn't care about.
Okay. The Spooge Award.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, let's start at the top. Okay. Sony are going to wank on for 20 minutes about Uncharted. Both the HD Triple Collection and Uncharted 4. They're going to wank on for far longer than I think is necessary.
Okay.
They're going to show a big lot of footage of the new game, and no one's going to care. Right. Microsoft are going to wank on about Halo 5, and you know they are.
Yeah, but I'm going to lap that all
It's going to be
like,
half an hour.
Like it's made of some sort of liquid, milky bacon.
I know, but they'll get someone on stage to talk about their new extended TV universe type thing as well, and it'll...
yeah, but they're not doing that anymore, are they? Like the TV
But
stuff,
they might do it again.
The TV stuff's off the cards. No, I reckon you... I think Microsoft are pacing their shows pretty well. So I don't think there will be... I think the wankery is behind them. I think the gamers guy knows what he needs to show off.
But if they're going to wank about anything, it will be Halo.
Oh, as long as it's not fucking Gears of War.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Common ground found.
Yeah, fine. Okay, next up, Bethesda's show. They're going to wank on about Fallout 4. We all saw that coming.
Yeah, but everybody's ready to lap that up. They have.
Yep.
To be fair, they've got 2 products there that they could wank off about.
They'll wank on about.
They're going to wank off about both of them.
Yeah. for half an hour each, and that'll be the whole show. Okay, who's next? Activision. They're going to wank on about Call of Duty.
Okay.
They're going to wank on for far longer than it absolutely necessary. They're going to have a man come on and talk about terrorism, and they're going to show off some single player, and they're going to show off some multiplayer, and we'll have all died.
And then, right, they'll go, and zombies, and then they'll wank off about like the Call of Duty zombies bit for a bit.
Yeah, and they'll show us which celebrities they've got in for the zombie mode this time, and we'll go, who, and someone off The Walking Dead.
Do you think though that a lot of Call of Duty fans will maybe see what we're saying about Call of Duty about Destiny? That maybe there'll be kind of some sort of extended super wank about Destas.
Maybe, but Destas is all lights and colours in space. Call of Duty's just shoot the man.
Yeah, we are biased.
Yeah, shoot the man. Yeah. Shoot him again. Good job. Okay, EA. EA was tricky for me because I was going to write Battlefield, but there's not a Battlefield this year, is there? So I reckon they're going to wank on about Rock Band. I reckon they're going to go into pornographic detail with the new controllers. I think they're going to have an entire song played on the stage as well. I think that's going to go on longer than it needs to. I can't think what else they would wank on about at this point, whereas I easily could have last year. Okay, Nintendo. This one's easy. This year, Nintendo are going to wank on about amiibos.
You think?
They're going to wank on about how many they've sold and how many more are coming, and maybe here comes season 2, and now new amiibo, this, that, the other, and this is how they go. They're not going to stop talking about amiibos because they've taken the world by storm. And
do you think it's like?
What else have they got?
Do you think it with the wank with amiibos is going to be sort of little bits of wank, which together, when added up, are a pool, a mighty pool of wank? Like, because essentially they could go, we've got Mario box biscuits coming out, and you can do this, you can do that, and with the new Mario amiibo, you can unlock
do this,
a buttered croissant and a pair of welly boots that smell of jelly.
So every game will have a cheeky hand shandy on the side of it.
Yeah. Now the thing, like with the sort of wanky bits, is it depends on your perspective. Like they could do, Ubisoft could do the shortest segment where Michel Ancel pretends not to see the raving rabbits, but at that point I will be smashing my head against the wall until it's bloody.
Okay, yeah, context is important here. If it's exciting, you've got more but where it's boring, like I'm with you there.
Oh God,
for Ubi, yeah.
What about that Michel Ancel game that was at Sony last year? The one where it's like you could play as a piece of wildlife or a human, or do you remember?
What? No.
Yeah.
A piece of wildlife.
Yeah, you could
like a bush. Just a bit of wildlife, like the leg of a rabbit.
That should be the name of the game. No, there was a.
Next up on A Piece of Wildlife with David Attenborough.
I don't know how to spell his name.
Michel Ancel.
Yeah, because I'm sure.
So while you search for that, I think Ubi. It's got to be Assassin's Creed. They're going to wank on for far too long about Assassin's Creed this year, aren't they? There's going to be an extended gameplay demo, there's going to be a trailer, and they're going to talk about Victorian London for 5 minutes. I think it's going to... I can just see it coming. I can just see myself drifting off halfway through the Assassin's Creed show. and I don't want to, but I know it's coming. Any joy on that game title yet, or have you given up?
Wild.
Wild. Nothing means nothing to me.
Don't remember it.
No, don't remember it.
What was that game that Laura was really looking forward to last year?
That was called Rime.
Rime.
R-I-M-E. Rime. Where you are a like an Ico-like thing, running around a nice beachy place solving the puzzle.
Do you think that we'll see The Last Guardian?
I'll get back to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
We missed a couple of shows. Square. They are going to wank on, not about 15. They're going to wank on about Final Fantasy 14, I think. I think they're going to wank on about it, and they're going to wank on about the new DLC. I think that's a very select group of people they're talking to, and I don't think I'm one of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Square...
And I know people like it. People like it, and I get that people like it, but I think they're going to talk about it for far too long.
Yeah, but I think it's...
Because 15 ain't finished yet, is it?
It's popular, so... yeah, this... saying that you don't want sort of them to wank on about Final Fantasy at a Square...
I appreciate.
Just seems like you're going into McDonald's and just going like, what are all these shitting burgers doing here?
Is that a very specific branch of Final Fantasy?
Paddy, I'm here for the McFlurry Stardust.
It's true though. In the McDonald's of life, I'm here for the breakfasts. And the PC show, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Civilization, is there one of them coming out? I really don't know.
The one thing I'd like to see with the PC show is that, and I think this will be advantageous and in the interest of everybody that's sitting there in the audience, is if, you know, there's certain games where you can, like Watch Dogs, where you can look at somebody and it'll go, this is Brian Flanagan, he likes watching pornography, eating
chips,
eating crisps, and buying magazines about speedboats, right?
Yeah.
If you could look at the cameras, will pan across the PC show, and everybody in that audience would have the full spec details of their rig, so you know just how powerful it was. And just
and they all start looking at each other like, ugh.
And just like, why have you bought the MX970? Well, it was £50 more than the 850. Yes, but I can overclock mine to 70 due to dolphins per tickle. It's like, just end yourself.
Why do you only have 16 gigabytes of the RAM with that setup? You should really be having 32.
Yes, but I've got the double flop mega card, and it's got a fan on it, and and it. But
the Radeon coat stand card blows that out of the water.
Yeah, but it does that at £100 difference. Well, I could afford it. Well, I put my money instead into neon lights.
And you've got one person just sat on the end who's just at PS4, and they all just stare.
No, that's what the PC gaming show is going to be. It's just going to be a room of people just arguing.
We're sorry, PC gamers.
Yeah. So...
yeah, who the fuck knows? It's going to be... Mate, okay, here's what they're going to wank on about at the PC gaming show.
XCOM 2.
Fucking graphics cards.
Yeah, it'll be XCOM 2 or something like
Honestly.
that.
Okay, when I was at Gamescom, right? The weirdest friggin' thing, right? So when I was at Gamescom, we went into the bit where the PC bits were. We sort of wandered about. We saw people stood at the stands for ATI and like Nvidia and like the graphics card and RAM makers and PC parts, right? Like dozens, I would say a couple of hundred people baying like maniacs for graphics cards.
Yeah.
Like fucking maniacs. And we looked in, and you know when you look at something and think, is this the Twilight Zone? Am I seeing real life here? But then again, this is the same show where I saw a similar group of people clustered around the farming simulator booth, all of them going, moo, 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 at a man in a cow outfit. So...
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the PC crowd.
I don't even know what your argument was at this point, but I am enticed to buy that.
I'm confused. They've got such lovely hair, though, haven't they? The Master Race.
Dunno.
Steam machines. There you go.
Yeah, I mean the Steam controller, and I don't know. I don't understand that kind of thing.
I could see a Steam show more than a PC gaming show. I can see it like a Steam show, perhaps.
Couldn't really afford like a rig in that regard, but
or a hot setup.
No, we won't go into this because it's kind of it's not our world. So
no, and we're being unnecessarily mean towards those who game on the PC because they're wrong. No. So that was the my predictions for who's going to wank on about what. What's actually going to come to pass? Who knows? Right, but I definitely think there should be an award.
So we chucked out a few bits on Twitter as to what people would like to see at E3 if they were excited about it, and all that kind of gubbins. So Andy Hamilton was the first one to reply. He said, "Dream announcement: Metroid." Possible announcement, still getting Dark Souls HD alongside 3 box set imminent.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd like it, but I don't know.
And I want Demon Souls HD as well. So
I know you do.
I want it so bad. Let me see. Danny Books, Global Mega Dude, says Souls HD as well as Dark Souls 3 details. We have a certain audience.
We do have a certain audience here, don't we?
But I desperately want to find out about Platinum's new game.
Ooh. Yeah, what are they working on at the moment? Are they working on anything that we know of?
Scalebound. But there's bound to be a good portion of the team that have been working on other bits like Bayonetta 1 and 2 that are freed up to do something else. So I don't know.
Okay.
Ian Sutherland said, "I'd like to see a FIFA platform, and I'm prepared to pay handsomely to make it happen."
That's my mate Ian. He was my best man at my wedding.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that's my pal Ian. When he says a FIFA platform, I think he just means like on the stage, like something that some footballers could stand on.
I'd just like to see the people that are presenting FIFA standing on a ball and trying to play the game.
That's the platform I want to see. Yeah, a big round platform. And that the show is they have to stand on it and talk about FIFA while not falling off the ball.
Jason.
Yeah, okay, I'm in with you. Agreed.
Jason King, Kuldon on Twitter says, Dark Souls 3 details and time of release. Sooner the me too, so I can book the week off. Sooner the better for me. Souls fatigue is a mythical illness I don't recognise, which I would agree with entirely. Jeremy Greer said, I'm hoping for the trifecta: Dark Souls 3 trailer, Bloodborne expansion details, and oh god, The Last Guardian.
Wow.
So, and Timothy J. Moore, frothy_ham, says...
That's a great username.
It is really good. I could see Frothy Ham turning up alongside our fabled Battle Milk. Frothy Ham would have like probably one of those new shaders in Destiny that are there for the Queen's bounties.
The pinky ones,
pink and white, make him look like a sort of raspberry frappuccino. So he said, my totally unrealistic dream announcement would be for Konami to come out and say, joke lol, here's Silent Hills, yay! Which I think ties us up sort of quite nicely. So yes, thank you for listening. You know where to find us. We're at Twin Humanities on the Twitters. We'll be back next week with a few shows regarding the various presentations, but it's going to be a challenge because I am off that week and you're not, so you're going to be trying to find the shows afterwards and then cram. But we are going to get them out as soon as possible, and hopefully
you make it sound like fucking homework.
Yeah, it is.
The best. Sitting there with a notebook going, I need to
best homework.
Remember all the things.
It's frothy_homework. Right, so thank you very much for listening, and we will catch up with you again soon. Goodbye.
Farewell.